Since the time I was a toddler of just 2 years old, I have been enamored with space. My father was an astronomer in both career and in hobby, and in our backyard in northwest Washington, D.C., he built a small observatory shed to house his telescope and computer with a sliding roof for easy observing. I grew up waiting until the moonless, clear nights when the sky in the city became dark enough for us to see some of the stars. We would turn off all the lights in the house, go into the backyard, open up the shed, slide off the roof, and my dad would open up his telescope for my siblings and I to look through. We would gaze at all the celestial objects, including the planets, Jupiter being my clear favorite, followed by Saturn and, of course, Mars, as well as binary stars, nebula, and distant galaxies. Looking at these faraway objects, I couldn't help but feel a deep awe and wonder at the scale of the universe. Those cold, clear nights, standing shivering on the wood floor of the observatory shed and staring deep into space were some of the most special nights of my childhood. I was certainly inspired by my father to study astronomy. I have never wanted to follow in his footsteps, however. In fact, his specialization in astronomy involved something called cataclysmic variable stars. This was far beyond what I could understand as a child, so I was never interested in what his work actually involved him doing. But he did introduce me to astronomy in general, and it became my passion. What inspired me most was that feeling of awe I would get when looking into the universe. Even simply looking at the sky with the naked eye on a clear night fills me with such a powerful feeling of smallness. And from a young age, it was clear to me that humanity, Earth, and our solar system are all merely grains of sand in a cosmic desert. That idea, while terrifying to some, is electrifying to me. It feels somehow so close to me, like a foundational piece of knowledge in my mind. We are tiny, and in spite of our tininess, the reality is that humans can create beauty and art and love, and that gives me a profound joy. In life, it often ends up feeling like every choice and decision is of monumental importance, and this can make it hard to act and to think. I frequently find myself getting lost in the minutiae of the moment to moment, getting snarled in old regrets and wallowing in faded emotional scars. On top of all of that, right now there's so much to be concerned about. I mean, there's homework, tests, and grades, and don't get me started on all the politics and war, pollution, and climate change. And there are so many people who are angry and selfish and full of hate, and they don't care and they don't listen. And why do I even bother with doing anything if the world is so screwed up? For me, to look at the night sky, to look into the universe, is to come face to face with the immutable condition of tininess that humanity hates to accept. And that brings me back to my true self, not an often cynical and sometimes bitter 21-year-old college student, but the wide eyed child looking transfixed through his father's telescope. That's who I really am inside, and that sense of wonder and amazement is what has motivated me to learn about the universe and the mysterious ways in which it works. This is the Hubble Deep Field. Astronomers decided that they wanted to image a relatively uninteresting and dark part of the night sky, with an area approximately 1/24 millionth of the total area of the sky. That's the angular size of a tennis ball a football field away, or about 1% the angular size of the moon. For 10 days, the Hubble Space Telescope was aimed at this small spot and collected light. The image that was revealed after data processing was full of over 3,000 galaxies, different types, sizes, different compositions, and ages, all billions of light years away. This image showed for the first time that the universe is full of trillions of galaxies, and each of those galaxies contains hundreds of billions of stars. The scale of the universe is unfathomable, and I feel as though that makes it all the more alluring to attempt to fathom it. I can't help but get lost in the idea of the universe, the unknown, and the endless possibilities. I think that the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda put it best. And I, infinitesimal being, drunk with the great starry void. Likeness, image of mystery, I felt myself a pure part of the abyss. I wheeled with the stars. My heart broke loose on the wind.